ferrets and
Oh no, one's a toy.
Yeah.
Hmm. Have you grabbed a carbine lately?
Yes.
Just compare the weight of them. We have a paratrooper model there. You probably carried. I don't know. Did you carry full? Your Rangers probably had the full stock, right?
Yeah.
Cool. How much weight did that take off the frame stock compared to the regular?
Didn't really take off. It just made it where you can enable it to be smaller. And
it's folding.
Yeah, they put the folding stock on it and actually developed a holster that you could put it in a holster. Yeah.
Cool. I've never seen that.
Yep.
So, what did you carry in combat? What weapon did you use?
I carried an M1 the whole war.
The Garand?
Yeah, the Garand.
And so you landed at Omaha. When did you finish?
I stayed the whole war.
All the way through?
Yeah.
What city were you in when you finished?
Well, that's not a simple question.
Okay.
The answer is after the war was over, we were in the Munich area.
Okay.
Yeah. But as the war wound down, although we didn't know it at the time, I got drafted out of the Rangers into the intelligence community.
Okay.
To open up German banks that had stolen Jewish stuff in them.
So did you help repatriate that back to its original owners?
The answer is that I was told to bring everything I owned plus 2 bags of explosives and report to that guy over there. So I went over to him, Colonel, what can I do for you? He said, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to we know the German banks that have the stolen Jewish stuff in them, but we're going to knock on the door and say, would you please open your vault? And they're going to have 100 reasons why you can't do that. It's time sensitive. Mm-hmm. I don't have authority and so on and so forth. So then we're going to go to the vault, and he's going to say, Neighborgall, open it. So there's a learning curve how you open a bank vault. If you put the explosive around the handle like you do in a pillbox, the damn door just flies open. If you do that on a vault, nothing happens.
Right.
So we found the only way you could get a door was put explosives all the way around it.
The whole door frame.
All the way around it, and then the door.
To break off all the bolts, right?
Then the doors would open.
So what kind of stuff did you find?
Oh, you can't believe it. Everything that was valuable, from everything that you could think of, pictures, weapons, furniture, paintings, just anything and everything would be of value.
So where did it go after you took it out of the vaults?
The answer is that we moved on to another bank.
Okay.
So the part of the intelligence corps that actually made a list of it, so on and so forth, and tried to get it back to the original owner, so was somebody else.
So your job was just to find it, identify it, and then give it to someone else so they could come in and take it.
And open it.
Okay.
Open it was a big issue.
Right. Wow. So how many of these types of banks did you go to?
Classified.
I forgot. A fair number. 8, 10, something like that.
What, was it all around Germany that you went to these places,
No,
or
mostly in Bavaria.
Okay. Wow. So before that, after you got off the beaches, what happened then?
We were assigned to Patton's 3rd Army.
Okay.
And my 5th Ranger Battalion were his eyes and ears. We did not have the type of overheads that we have now. Intelligence gathering information. When Patton wanted to know what was out there, he said to the Rangers, go, look at it, tell me about it, and come back. And come back and tell me what's there.
Right. So did you see a lot of combat doing the recon for him, or?
Lots of combat.
Okay.
Yeah, because he decided that was his weapon.
So were you usually in combat when you were doing the scouting missions, or was that when you would come back and rejoin the main force?
We actually never we were always on special assignment to Patton's.
Okay.
And he told us what he wanted to know, and then it was up to us.
Did you ever meet him personally?
One time.
What was he like?
Well, we came out of the Battle of the Bulge,
Mm-hmm.
and we suffered a lot of casualties. So we filled up with recruits, and we were about 3 miles behind the front lines, and hiking to get the guys in shape. And his Jeep pulls up side about 10 feet in front of me, enough I can hear it, and I noticed the Patton was sitting in the front right seat. So he said to the ranger in front of me, he said, "What outfit is this, son?" And the guy said to him, "Sir, this is a Ranger 5th Ranger Battalion." He said, "What in the FUCK are you doing back here?" He said, "We're training our recruits. We just came from the Battle of the Bulge." He says, "Bullshit. You can train your recruits in the front lines as well as you can here." So that night we got sent back into what the lines were. It wasn't a line, but it was closer to where the Germans were.
How was the cold?
It was cold.
I can't imagine. I'm originally from California. When I came out here, when I get into 30 degrees weather, it's really rough for me, so I just can't imagine how it was.
Well, when the Germans broached through the American lines, it was a total surprise to everybody.
Right.
They did nothing except verbally, orders were verbally. Nothing was put on the radio. Nothing was put in telegraph. Nothing. So Eisenhower was apparently totally surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So he divided the front right at where the Germans pierced the lines, which was the 28th National Guard Division from Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And everything south of that belonged to Patton, and everything north of it belonged to Montgomery. And so we were 300,000 in Patton's Third Army facing east. And suddenly we had to rotate and face north.
Right.
And it's one of the most amazing logistics things that's ever happened.
Yeah, that's one of those really famous moments where people talk about how Patton turned his entire army on a dime. So you were part of that.
Yes.
Wow.
And I rode into that on the back of a tank. The weather was terrible. It was not only cold, below zero, it was raining and snowy and so on and so forth.
And I can imagine the metal on the tank was very cold to the touch too.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it was better than walking.
Yeah.
So someone said to me, "What happened when the Germans started firing?" The answer is that we jumped off the tank into the snowdrift. And when I jumped off and put my weapon up, my M1 stuck to my cheek.
Wow.
And my fellow ranger said to me, "Roger, keep firing and I'll blow on it." And that's how I got my M1 off my cheek.
Wow. It gives you a whole other thing to sticking your tongue on something frozen. I mean,
Yeah.
wow, that's incredible.
But there wasn't any possibility of asking for more action. There was something going on all the time.
Right, especially as a ranger, you were always up there.
Yeah.
It's just I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Well, it was certainly different.